Good morning and happy Father's Day. My name is Duncan Ferguson and I will be serving as your worship associate this morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Savannah. Our worship and covenant group theme for June is the Gift of Renewal. Here at the UU Church of Savannah, we are working hard to build a diverse, multicultural, and beloved community. We celebrate the presence and participation of LGBTQIA+ and straight people of all races, genders, abilities, and ethnic and national origins. We warmly welcome you on YouTube and on site, whoever you know yourself to be, and wherever you are on your journey. If you're visiting with us this morning and would like to introduce yourself, please rise or raise your hand, and our usher, Raven, will bring you a microphone. Are there any visitors on this side who would like to introduce themselves? Any visitors on this side of the sanctuary this morning who would like to introduce themselves? Well, we are sure glad that you are all here with us this morning, and please join us in Ron Hall after the service for refreshments. You can find Ron Hall by following the crowd through these doors or through the main doors, or just ask Raven, our usher. Next week's service will be the main worship service for this year's General Assembly of the Unitarian Universalist Association. The Reverend Dr. Molly Hoosh Gordon from Columbia, Missouri will preach, and faith leaders from throughout our association will participate. While it may seem odd to come to church to watch a screen, this will be an excellent opportunity to be among your local UU community while connecting with the larger Unitarian Universalist community. With the lighting of our chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith, we enter into sacred time. Our chalice lighter this morning is Roger. Come into this house of worship. Come in bringing all of who you are. Rest and quiet your weak-worn spirit, for you are here to touch again eternal springs of hope and renewal. Calm your hurried pace. For this hour, let the cares and fretfulness and worry be set aside. Forgive yourself. You are so very worthy of moving on, of making new efforts, of trying again. Know that you are not alone. There is strength and caring support for you here, and you will find comfort if you but ask. Look around. You are part of a community. You can make it what you will. Enter into this house of worship.
We come to spiritual community this morning with many hopes in our hearts. The hope for inspiration, the hope for comfort, the hope for renewal. In this time and space, may inspiration water our thirsty souls and bring us soulful satiety. In this time and space, may comfort bud and blossom in the garden of our hearts and bring us sweet relief. In this time and space, may renewal course through us, as electric as a surge of energy, as serene as a nourishing meal, as contagious as joy, and bring us vitality and rejuvenation. May our time together honor all the hopes we hold within. May our time together bless us with the gifts of inspiration, comfort, and renewal. Let us worship together. Will you please rise in spirit or in body for our opening hymn, number 12, O Life That Maketh All Things New.
from heart to heart, the bridal glows, the seeker of the light are one in the freedom of the truth, and in the joy of paths untrod, and in the soul's perennial youth, in the larger thought of God. The freer step, the fuller breath, the wide horizon's grander view, the sense of life that knows no death, the life that maketh all things new.
It's time now for our story. Anyone who would like to see the pictures may come forward. Our story this morning is called Child of the Universe. My father says I am made of stars. He turns off the light so it's dark. We look at the moon from the edge of my bed. The universe conspired to make you, he said. Just like the sun gives shine to the moon, you light up the world beyond this room. Like the majesty of the Milky Way's grace, your curly hair swirls over your face. There are galaxies in your smile so wide, the cosmos is reflected in the depth of your eyes. Like faraway planets only telescopes can see, with hills and valleys, glaciers and seas. You are grand and marvelous, strong and mysterious. The history of the world is in your fingertips. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones are made up of stars that lived long ago. Your atoms spin like Saturn's rings. You are part of everything. Of constellations and Arctic ice, all waves that move the speed of light. Of starbursts brighter than fireworks, you are a child of the universe. Now get under the cover, my father says. It's time for you to go to bed. He tucks me in, and through the window I see the great full moon smiling back at me. I close my eyes, and tonight I'll dream of stardust and planets and all that's between. Thank you for listening. We'll sing you on your way.
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the love of God surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
So there are a couple of announcements that I meant to make earlier. One is that there are 2 cards in the pew back in front of you to help us gather information for the good of our community. Use the Rainbow Chalice card. to sign up for the newsletter and to receive a welcome letter from a minister. And now is also a good time to fill out the card with the red heart and chalice to share a joy or sorrow. If you fill out either of these cards, please put them in the collection plate shortly while the offering plates are being passed. Church announcements are emailed to members and friends Tuesdays and Fridays. Check the email for complete details about the following. Watering volunteers are needed for our new native plants garden. Megan will provide the necessary instruction. And hospitality is needed especially for July. Please sign up in Ron Hall or online for either the garden or hospitality. The light of our chalice would soon flicker and die without the oil that nourishes its flame. And just as this flame cannot burn without oil, this religious community cannot survive or thrive without the financial as well as the personal support of its members and friends, which is the oil that keeps the flame of our liberal religious community alive and our shared mission and ministry of this fellowship. Let us now give freely and generously an offering to sustain and strengthen our shared religious community, a community of memory, hope, faith, and love. For we are now the keepers of its flame that burns for justice, its dream of beloved community, its vision of a world made whole. To donate via debit or credit card, please use the QR code on the back of the order of service or go to www.uusavannah.org and click the donate button. Mailed checks are also welcome. Thank you for your generosity. Together we build a better world. The gifts of the congregation will be most gratefully received.
From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share in the gifts we give.
We have a few joys and sorrows this morning from Kim Davis, a sorrow. Pray for Tom Davis, who has cancer. And also, Kim's mom is in hospice, and her stepmom died last night. So our thoughts and prayers are with Kim Davis and her family. My domestic partner, Jenna, and I have a joy. We recently adopted a Russian blue rescue kitten, Penelope Saksakina. Many thanks to our good friend Mark for his kitty care guidance. Our hearts go out to all of those in our human family around the world who are today being subjected to war, to the threats of violence, or to oppressive regimes. Let us hold all our joys and sorrows, spoken and unspoken, in our hearts as we join together in the responsive reading found in your order of service. Sorrow is everywhere.
Yet joy is reborn.
As we mourn together,
So we celebrate together.
and offer thanks.
That we are not alone.
So may it be now and in all the days to come.
Let us continue in a spirit of meditation. These words for Father's Day from Amy Jones. Today is Father's Day, so we take this moment to hold space for all that may mean to us. We hold love for those who have lost fathers and those fathers who have lost children. We acknowledge and hold non-binary, transgender, and cisgender dads. Dads in families made of two dads, foster and adoptive dads, partnered dads, and single dads. We hold and work to lift up all fathers of all colors and those fathers raising children of color. We hold fathers kept apart from their children by borders and war, by incarceration, by the necessity of working far from home. We hold fathers and children who have lost connection, children who have been disowned or abandoned by their fathers, and the father figures who step in. We hold those longing to become fathers. We hold those who may be full of questions about their biological fathers. Most importantly, we hold and thank the dads, the papas, the daddies, and all who show up every day to give their all to the children who need them. Human relationships are complicated. These days of recognition are complex. Take a moment to breathe in what serves you and breathe out that which does not. Amen. Our first reading this morning, a brief piece from Scientific American Online. It appeared on April 1st, 2021, headed, "Our Bodies Replace Billions of Cells Every Day." The human body replaces its own cells regularly. Scientists at the Weizmann Institute of Science in Rehovot, Israel, have finally pinned down the speed and extent of this turnover. About a third of our body mass is fluid outside of our cells, such as plasma, plus solids, such as the calcium scaffolding of bones. The remaining 2/3 is made up of roughly 30 trillion human cells. About 72% of those by mass are fat and muscle, which last an average of 12 to 50 years, respectively. But we have far more tiny cells in our blood, which live only 3 to 120 days, and lining our gut, which typically live less than a week. Those two groups, therefore, make up the giant majority of the turnover. About 330 billion cells are replaced daily, the equivalent to about 1% of all our cells. In 80 to 100 days, 30 trillion have been replenished, the equivalent of a new you. And this poem from Rosemary Watola Tromer. After years of pretending I could do it all, I said yes today when Linda asked if I'd like a nutritious drink to go. "You'll need the protein," she said as she slipped the bottle into a paper bag. I said yes when she offered to bring me food later. Said yes when she offered to bring me wine. And when Steve said, "Let's go outside," I said yes. Yes, as he showed me the best spot to sit to face east in the morning. Yes, as he showed me the place to face west. And later, when Joan asked if she could hold me, one palm to my chest, one palm to my back, her forehead touching my shoulder, I said yes. I said yes as she helped me carry boxes and bags. Said yes as she handed me the water. I, the queen of no, said yes. I who have thought I could do it alone. I who desperately want to not be a burden. I who have longed for control. I who have made a small cell out of no, said yes, and felt the doors of reluctance swing open, then fall off their hinges, then dissolve into gratefulness. How long have I thought I needed to do this alone? How long have I clung to this island of separateness? How sweet it tastes, this yes, like chocolate with 30 grams of protein, no less. Like pure water offered in a small white cup, something I need to live, something I'm made of. Here end the readings. Will you rise in spirit or in body for our hymn number 354, We Laugh, We Cry. We'll sing verses 1 and 4.
We laugh, we cry, we sing, we die, we dance, we sing our song. We need to feel there's something there to which we can belong. We need to feel the freedom just to have some time alone. But most of all, we need close friends we can call our very own. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found our need to be together. We have our hearts to give. We have our thoughts to receive. And we believe that sharing is an answer. We seek inclusive answers to the questions of this time. We seek to put an end to all the ways of human strife. We search for truth, equality, and blessed peace of mind. And then we come together here to make of what we find. And we believe in life and in the strength of love. And we have found a joy we together. And in our search for peace, we question truly is an answer.
Reminders about the importance of physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual renewal abound in the vast and vaguely boundaried world of health and fitness, health and wellness. 8 hours of sleep, more or less, 8 glasses of water, or has that one been debunked? 10,000 steps a day, stand up and move around for 5 minutes out of every hour, limit screen time, pay attention to gratitude, no blue light before bed, try to be mindful, no screens in the bedroom, 3 meals a day or 6 small ones, or grazing or intermittent fasting, 4 food groups, the food pyramid, the healthy plate, work-life balance, prioritize supportive relationships, and on and on. We can't escape scores of variations on this theme coming at us every day from dozens of sources. Like most of you, probably, I've long known that proper nutrition, hydration, sleep, and exercise are good for our physical being. That work-life balance, solid friendships, meaningful engagement with the world, and some sort of spiritual practice are good for our mental, emotional, and spiritual being. And I've known in that, here's a curious fact that seems impossible sort of way, that most of our physical being is regularly replaced. I'd always heard it was every 7 years that all our cells are completely overturned. It turns out, according to the brief article I read, that it's much more frequent than that. It's mind-boggling. We don't look or feel or act appreciably different every 100 days, yet 30 trillion cells have switched out, leaving, broadly interpreted, a whole new person in their wake. While I've known all those acts of renewal I listed earlier and many more are good for us, body and soul, even vital for our survival, and I've known, as I said, that our bodies replenish themselves regularly, until I read the Scientific American piece in preparation for this sermon about how renewal means survival, I hadn't thought very much about why sleep and sufficient calories from proper sources and exercise and the liberal use of sunscreen and all the rest are important to our survival at the most basic biological level. That is, because our cells, the very physical stuff of our being, work so hard to keep us alive and functioning optimally that they are in a continual state of dying and being replaced. Of course they need all the help we can offer through deliberate, healthful acts in support of what our body tries to do all on its own, renew itself every few months, because that's what it takes to stay alive, and staying alive is the body's job. In other words, all of the intentional acts we take as a means of renewing our body and our soul are, at their core, renewal in the service of survival. A church, like a human body, is a kind of organism that requires continual renewal. The rate of turnover in a congregation may be considerably slower than the rate at which cells replace themselves, measured in decades and multiple decades before none of the members who belong to a church at one point in time belong to it any longer at a second point in time. The rate of turnover in a congregation may be shorter, but it too is a continual process. And churches, like human beings, require renewal as a means of survival. A church, unlike a human body, has no biological or otherwise systemic automatic means of renewal. Survival is all up to our intentional acts of renewal. Today, as we recognize new members who have joined the church over the past 16 months, we could say that this is how we renew the congregation and ensure its survival, by adding new members. But we would be wrong. The desire of these people to join our church is the tangible result of all the acts of renewal we engage in as a matter of course. Instead of proper nutrition and hydration, the church provides carefully curated offerings of worship and faith development for children, youth, and adults. Offerings grounded in our Unitarian Universalist values, offerings that invite us to access and release the divine spark within us, that evoke wonder, engage intellect, nurture empathy. Offerings that both satisfy and stir our curiosity, and that acknowledge our connections to one another, to our surrounding communities, to the world community, and to the natural world. Instead of 8 hours of sleep or work and life balance, the church provides social and recreational activities, Sunday hospitality, game nights, art Saturdays, a men's group, a women's group. Instead of exercise routines, the church has building and grounds work days, board meetings, committee work, stewardship drives, and annual meetings. Instead of individual spiritual practices, the church has, spiritual practices, covenant groups and Taoist meditations, for some the choir. Instead of individual, meaningful engagement with the world, the church participates in just serves meals to participants in the Strengthening Families Court program, marches in the MLK Day Parade and the Pride Parade, brings in speakers related to the work of our Green Team and our Anti-Racism Committee, opens its doors for the use of Girl Scouts and other community not-for-profit organizations, and broadcasts music, worship services, and talk shows on our radio station, WRUU. Each year, some members of this congregation die, and others move on to other places and other faith communities. Our continued existence is ensured when our numbers are replenished by new members joining the church. And for we were all new here at one point in time, we joined the church not because of marketing or social media, not because of our beautiful historic sanctuary, not even because of some event or another, though sometimes it is a concert or a speaker that first brings new people through our doors. The new members we recognize today, including me, join this church because intentional acts of renewal I've mentioned and others like them keep the Unitarian Universalist Church of Savannah vital and relevant and inviting to individuals and families who seek community or religion grounded in expansive love or something ineffable they can't name but know they need. I said a few minutes ago that staying alive is the body's job. Staying in existence for the sake of staying in existence is not the church's job, not the church's purpose. Continuing to exist because we are needed in the world, in Savannah, is the church's job, the church's purpose. And we are needed. We are needed because, as the small rainbow banner on the Macon Street gate declares, all are welcome. And that's not true very many places in Savannah. We are needed because we preach and strive to live a gospel of universal, capital L, love. A gospel that says not only are all welcome here, but we believe all are welcomed and loved by God or the Spirit of life or the holy mystery of the universe. We are needed because we know our paths to truth and meaning differ from one another in this community. And we believe in supporting each other along those different paths. And we believe that together, because of our differences, we come closer to truth with a capital T. We are needed because we affirm that you are who you know yourself to be and that we are blessed by your presence. We are needed because we don't claim to be the one true religion for all times and places and people, but we know that we are the right religion for this time and place and all who call this their church. Which brings us back to renewal, meaning survival. If we are to continue to be the right religion, the right church for ourselves and all who need us in this time, in this place, then we are called to continually renew this beloved institution. I'm just wrapping up my second church year here, yet I know that this congregation, like every congregation of every faith across the land and probably around the world, questioned its ultimate survival as the COVID pandemic forced it to change all the familiar ways of doing and being the church. And I know that I came here to be your minister, and all the new members we recognized this morning chose to join UUCS because this congregation rose to the challenge of adapting to survive. And I am grateful on all our behalfs that together we have moved beyond the challenge of adapting rapidly and radically and uncertainly in order to survive, onto the more joyful, steady endeavor of renewing to survive. Renewing our sense of purpose, renewing our ministries of worship and religious education and WRUU and social justice and Green Team and anti-racism, renewing our physical plant, renewing the spirit of our congregation. Some publishing company contacted me this week wanting to help us create a book in honor of the church's 175th anniversary this year. Their research department clearly failed, both in not discovering that Unitarianism was present in Savannah much earlier than 175 years ago, and in not understanding that Unitarian Universalism's presence in Savannah has not been unbroken in all the years since wealthy New England Unitarians first organized themselves here. But I kind of like the idea of the church one day celebrating 175 years of existence. All it will take is our intentional acts of renewal, the very ones that will bless us every year, every week, every day along the way. Amen. And now, as the people who are being recognized as new members come forward with the inserts to their orders of service, and the president-elect and the membership chair join them, you all may remain seated. The rest of you remain seated as we sing hymn number 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are. We'll sing it through twice.
Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover, or leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving. Ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come.
Oh, wait. Nope. I was having you read this part, but I already did. Okay. My mic. The decision to become a member of a faith community is a simple act with deep significance. We welcome you freely, openly, and joyfully as you have signed the membership book and are now members of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Savannah.
Will the members of the church present here today please rise in body or spirit and join in the words of welcome to these new members, which you find printed on the insert in your worship folder. Let us welcome them together. We, the members of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Savannah, welcome you as members of our community. We invite your full participation in this community and pledge to support you on your spiritual journey.
Will the new members please join in your affirmation of support for this church? We promise to support this church with our gifts of time, talent, and treasure as we welcome the gifts of relationship and justice that will hold us fast in the inevitable times of storm, challenge, and joy. May these words and acts of welcome renew our dedication and commitment to live in healthy community with one another. May we go forward with greater resolve to offer our gifts and talents in order to realize our vision for this church and its larger ministry. Amen. Congregation may be seated. Will you please introduce yourselves so we can begin to connect names with faces? I'm the Reverend Lisa Doege.
I'm Alex Dodd.
Cindy Copeland.
Duncan Ferguson.
Hi, I'm Katie Hay Leo.
Gary David Keast.
Destiny Cowart.
Leslie Cowart.
Angelia Cowart. Abigail Tyson Nost.
Jordan Tyson Nost.
Hi, I'm Summer El Talib Granado.
Michael Granado.
Hi, I'm Tish Hamilton.
Mary Garofalo.
Matt Brigman.
Before you return to your seats, please accept gifts from our now much larger congregation. The pin displays the flaming chalice, symbol of our faith. The flower represents the fellowship you will find here and the human connection that will nourish your souls. And the book represents spiritual growth and the calling of your deepest self as you explore the next part of your journey as a member of this congregation. Oh, Alex, you need your flower. I just gave you one flower. I think we do now. Can you share one? No, we don't. I'll take that.
There you go. All right.
That's it.
There you go. Add it there. You're welcome.
And now please rise in body or in spirit for our closing hymn in the Teal Supplement, number 1018, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place.
I will say that our voices are in a holy place, our first Sunday without our choir on summer vacation, and you are all sounding fantastic. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom of each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see others are. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust our wisdom deep inside, every listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place.
Though our knowledge is incomplete, our truth partial, and our love imperfect, we believe that new light is ever waiting to break through individual hearts and minds to enliven the ways of humanity, that there is mutual strength in willing cooperation, and that the bonds of love keep open the gates of freedom. Amen.